I found out my boyfriend was cheating on me 30 minutes before my biggest job interview, and instead of falling apart, I used his betrayal as rocket fuel. My name is Harper Dawson, and I live in Chicago, Illinois. 29 years old. Junior graphic designer stuck in a creative rut. For 3 years, I dated Kevin. We met at a friend's birthday party in Wicker Park. He was charming, funny, a sales rep who talked a big game about his future. We lived together in a cramped apartment in Logan Square. I paid most of the bills because his commissions were inconsistent. I supported his dreams while mine collected dust on a shelf. But that cold January morning, everything changed. I woke up early for an interview at one of Chicago's top creative agencies, the kind of opportunity I'd been dreaming about for 5 years. I was in the bathroom rehearsing my pitch when Kevin's phone buzzed on the nightstand. Once, twice, 3 times. I glanced at the screen. Messages from someone named Bree, with heart emojis. Last night was a perfect baby. Can't wait to see you again. My stomach dropped. My hands went cold. I checked the previous messages. Months of them. Photos, plans, promises. He'd been living a double life while I was busy living for both of us. I stood there, his phone in my shaking hand, my interview starting in 45 minutes, and I had a choice. I could confront him, scream, cry, let this destroy me and miss my shot. Or I could take every ounce of pain I was feeling and channel it into the most important 90 minutes of my professional life. I chose the latter. I put his phone back exactly where it was, got dressed, did my makeup with steady hands even though tears were streaming down my face, put on my best suit, grabbed my portfolio, and walked out that door like I was walking into war. The interview was downtown, 30th floor overlooking Lake Michigan, floor-to-ceiling windows. The creative director, a woman named Sandra, sat across from me with a panel of 3 others. My heart was hammering, not from nerves about the interview, but from the nuclear bomb that had just detonated in my personal life. Sandra asked me to walk them through my portfolio, and something happened. Something I didn't expect. The pain I was feeling transformed into clarity, into power. I presented my work like I had nothing left to lose, because I didn't. Every design I showed, I explained with passion and precision. I talked about my vision, my process, what I could bring to their team. And I wasn't performing. I was finally being myself. The version of me that had been suffocating under the weight of Kevin's mediocrity. They offered me the job on the spot, senior designer, double my current salary, benefits, creative freedom, my dream role. I walked out of that building into the freezing Chicago wind and finally let myself feel it. The betrayal, the rage, the heartbreak, but also something else, relief. Because Kevin's cheating had just freed me to become who I was always meant to be. I went home that afternoon. Kevin was on the couch playing video games. I didn't say a word about the messages, didn't mention Bree, just calmly told him I was moving out. He looked confused. What? Why? Did something happen? I smiled, cold, final. I got my dream job, Kevin. And I realized I can't take you with me into my future, so I'm leaving. He started asking questions. I didn't answer them, just started packing. He never once asked if I knew about Bree, never confessed, never apologized, because he didn't think I knew, and I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of explaining. I moved into a studio apartment in River North 2 weeks later, small but modern, mine. All mine. And I poured everything into my new job, worked late, came in early, pitched bold ideas, collaborated with talented people who actually valued creativity. Within 3 months, I'd led campaigns for major clients. My work was getting noticed. not just in Chicago, but nationally. I started getting invited to design conferences, industry panels. My portfolio was growing, my reputation was building. But I wasn't just focused on work. I joined a boxing gym near my apartment, started training 4 times a week, hitting bags, running, sweating out the anger and pain. My body changed, got stronger, leaner, more powerful. I cut my hair short, edgy, got a small tattoo on my wrist, a reminder that I survived. I started dressing better, investing in myself, going to galleries, museums, doing things Kevin always said were boring, rediscovering joy in my own company. 6 months after I left, I was at a design industry gala at the Art Institute of Chicago. My agency had won an award for a campaign I'd led. I was wearing a sleek black jumpsuit, hair styled perfectly, confident, radiant. And there he was, Kevin, working the event as hired staff, serving drinks. He saw me across the room and his face went pale, walked over like a ghost seeing the past come back to life. "Harper, is that you? You look different." I smiled, warm but distant. "Thanks, Kevin. How have you been?" He stammered through small talk, mentioned he was between jobs, that things with Bree hadn't worked out, that he'd been thinking about me, wondering if we could talk sometime. I looked at him. This man, who'd betrayed me on what should have been one of the worst days of my life, but ended up being the catalyst for my best life. And I felt nothing. No anger, no pain, just indifference. "Kevin, I'm really busy these days. My career is pretty demanding, but I hope things work out for you." I walked away, back to my colleagues, my celebration, my success. He just stood there holding a tray of champagne glasses, watching me shine in a world he never believed I could reach. The agency promoted me to art director 8 months later. I was leading a team, mentoring junior designers, getting offers from companies across the country. My Instagram portfolio hit 100,000 followers. Brands wanted to collaborate. I was living a life Kevin told me was unrealistic. A fantasy, but I'd made it real. All by myself. I never spoke to him again. Blocked him on everything, not out of spite, out of necessity, because people who can't see your value don't deserve access to your evolution, and Kevin couldn't see mine until it was too late. Last I heard, he's still bouncing between sales jobs, still living in Logan Square, still looking for the next thing that'll make him feel important. While I'm in New York now, creative director at a major agency, living in Manhattan, traveling for work, living the dream I almost gave up on. His cheating could have destroyed me. Instead, it freed me. It forced me to choose myself, to bet on myself, to become the woman I'd been too afraid to be when I was busy being his safety net. And my success? That wasn't revenge. That was just me finally showing up for myself the way I'd been showing up for him for 3 years. He cheated. I achieved. He stayed small. I grew limitless. And the fact that he had to watch me shine from the sidelines while serving drinks at my celebration, that was just karma's way of being poetic. If this story hit home, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me about a time betrayal became your breakthrough. And if you're new to Venomous Revenge, subscribe. Because sometimes the best revenge is just becoming so successful that their betrayal becomes the footnote in your origin story. And trust me, I've got plenty more to share.